Hello everybody, and welcome to another War of the Spark draft here on the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If this video gets to 50 thumbs up, I'll do a little bit of an analysis, post-draft analysis in written form, where I talk about things that I could have done differently, and I'll post that in my community tab. If you want to have access to the community tab, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's a great way to join the team, show your support, and support the community. And finally, if you have any questions at all, and or if you just want to let me know that you like MTGO drafts, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. But now let's dive into the pack. Our last card is an island. Karn, the Great Creator, is not a particularly good card in Limited. Let's just double... yeah, it's not a particularly great card in Limited. It doesn't really do much. You're not going to have artifacts. Your opponents aren't going to have artifacts. Death Sprout is quite nice, but it is a double-colored card. So I think it's a little bit weaker than the two single-colored cards. Band Together is quite nice, as is Jaya's Greeting. And then Jace's Triumph is just a fine card as well. I think I'd rather have Band... Let's take Jaya's Greeting. I think I like the red cards a tiny bit more than the green cards. And Jaya's Greeting, costing 2 mana instead of 3, is quite nice, and you don't need to have any creatures in play. That could be a little bit incorrect, but I think I'm going to take the Jaya's Greeting over the Band Together. Just the 3 damage kills a lot of the relevant threats. The Scry one is quite nice as well. A Bleeding Edge is a very solid uncommon. Let's just double check that we're not in a draft pod with anyone famous. Nope, doesn't look like it. We're the only famous person in this draft pod. Bleeding Edge is quite nice. 3 mana, deal 2, essentially, and then you amass 2 is just a very good card. Devouring Helion, if you have some expendable creatures, can be okay, but it's not insane. And then Jace's Triumph is just a fine card. There is a blue-red spells archetype in this format, but I think Jace's Triumph is just a little bit worse than Bleeding Edge. Just the fact that you get a 2/2 out of this is just so good. It can really just vastly swing around how the board is looking. And you can even use it like post-combat. You attack a creature in, then you use Bleeding Edge after combat, though it's usually best before combat, so you can grow your army token if you do have it. So we're just going to be taking the Bleeding Edge here over the Jace's Triumph, though. Jace's Triumph is a solid card. And the rare is missing, so we don't really get that much of a signal here. Okay, Evolution Sage is a very good card. The rare is missing, and an uncommon is missing, so there's definitely rares and uncommons I would take over Evolution Sage, but this is quite a nice card. It works very well with army tokens, it works well with the mass cards, it works really well with planeswalkers, so I really do like Evolution Sage. I'm much lower on Firemind's Vessel than I was. I think it's better in Sealed than in Draft, because you do want to be splashing a lot more in Sealed, but it is still a good card. Evolution Sage does put us into a 3rd color, so we will try to look at the cards that would keep us into only 2 colors. Spellgorger Weird is pretty nice, and Burning Prophet is pretty nice. Whew. I think... Thank you so much, Quality 8 Mojo, for the follow. I appreciate it. Spellgorger Weird, I think, is a little bit better than Burning Prophet, just because Spellgorger Weird can kind of win you the game on its own, and it works with Proliferate. Burning Prophet, meanwhile, is just kind of like a solid card, but nothing special. I think we're going to take the Evolution Sage, though. I do really like this card, and I'm by no means committed to anything here. I think it's just the best card in the pack. Now, this is surprising. Commence the Endgame is a card that I've been pretty impressed with. Instant Speed Amass is just pretty nice because it is like a combat trick in many ways, or a surprise blocker. You can sometimes make like a 4/4 army token and draw 2 cards, so I've been pretty impressed with Commence the Endgame. It does put me into a 4th color, though, which is a little bit of a downside here. Centaur Nurturer, on the other hand, I could play black-green, which is a very solid color combination, and then splash things like Jaya's Greeting, and have a very solid situation to be in. Commence the Endgame does cost 6 mana, so it's not all perfect. And Centaur Nurturer is pretty good. I think it's probably the best card in this pack other than Commence the Endgame. Robopelt Rioters is only really great in an aggressive deck because on defense it's just an 0/4. I think we are going to take the Centaur Nurturer here. Maybe hedge into green, maybe play green-black, splash red, which I think Commence the Endgame is good, but I don't think is worth going to a 4th color for. Kind of immediately punished, but not really, because Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor is a very splashable card, whereas Commence the Endgame really isn't. You don't really generally want to be splashing double-colored cards, but splashing single-colored cards is just fine. So we could totally just take Kasmina here and play black-green, splashing blue, or we could just move into blue. We are getting a decent signal that's blue's open with the Commence the Endgame last pack. I just felt like it was a little bit better on my 4th pick to solidify myself into a color, over taking a double-colored blue card for my 4th pick and just being all over the place. It's nice to just have a spot to branch out from. Erratic Visionary is also a decent blue card. No Escape is a solid playable. Vampire Opportunist is interesting, and Iron Bully is a card that's surprisingly good. I also like Honor the Godfair, but we're just going to take the Kasmina here and potentially just splash it. We do already have a Centaur Nurturer, which helps us splash. And now we see a couple of good black cards, so this is really nice. Obnix's Cruelty is definitely better than Toll of the Invasion, but I think people are still sleeping on Toll. There's also a Lazotep Reaver, which is a very good card. So I think in this pack I go Obnix's, then Lazotep Reaver, then Toll of the Invasion, though Toll is quite nice. And this moves me straight into that black-green type of deck I was talking about, where you generally can pick up a decent number of ways to proliferate. For some reason, New Horizon is a great way to splash. Centaur Nurture is a great way to splash. There's the uncommon Leyline Prowler that's also nice. But Obnix's Cruelty is just great removal, and so we're definitely going to take that here over a good 2-drop. Toll of the Invasion, which is also a pretty good card in this format. People sleep on this card, but taking their best card is often very good. We're just going to take the Obnix's Cruelty here. And now there's a Lazotep Reaver. Getting good 2-drops is very important in this format. Gateway Plaza is another good option here, but in this deck, when you have the green fixing, you generally don't need to rely on Gateway Plaza for your fixing. So we'd rather just take a good 2-drop that's in our main color so that we don't fall too far behind early on in the game. And yeah, that's just Lazotep Reaver is excellent. Tithebreaker Bear Giant is a card that has been decent, but it's still a 6-mana 4/5, and even though it draws you a card, by the time you're casting a 6-mana 4/5, lands are irrelevant draws usually. So it's only drawing you like a percentage of a card rather than like a full card. Whereas if it's a 2-drop that draws you a card, lands are relevant draws still. So now we are going to sort by our curve here. Sort by converted mana cost, and then move our cards that we don't tend to cast on curve away to the side. That's just a general tip. And Kasmina is kind of a splash card. Okay. In this pack, Bond of Revival is one that I'm not super impressed with. You generally aren't able to get back huge creatures in this format. Liliana's Triumph is solid against certain opponents. Certain decks don't have just small creatures lying around, which makes it an excellent sideboard card and a okay main deck card. Iron Bully is solid. Shriek Diver is good because Evasion is good. So I think we are just going to take that. It's another creature. It can pressure Planeswalkers, and we don't really have a ton of creatures right now. Take it over the Liliana's Triumph. And now, in this pack, there's really nothing that we want. We could take a Ward Scale, Crocodile. We aren't really looking to splash any of these cards. I guess we'll just take the Ward Scale Crocodile in case. Crush Descent, not really an excellent option. This pack is a lot of white cards, but none of them are particularly good. So we'll just take the Crush Descent, because we're higher likelihood to splash blue, and maybe we'll splash a counterspell. Okay, this is a fine pack. Lazotep Behemoth is a solid big creature. Duskmantle Operative is a fine 2-drop. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think I'll take the Lazotep Behemoth just so I have something to hit the opponent with. I already have a decent number of removal spells, so having just a big creature is nice. Okay, and then we will take the, I guess we don't really need Primordial Worm here. This just doesn't do what we want. We aren't really looking to splash Honor the Godfarer though. I guess we'll take Primordial Worm. Vampire Opportunist is actually a 2-drop I'm much happier to have than the Duskmantle guy. Wow, Charmed Stray. You betray me once again. I see Charmed Stray when I don't want him. That's a reference to my last video. Vampire Opportunist is just very solid. And definitely a card that it does work in the late game. Just a forest as the last card, as it tends to be. Unless there's a foil, it will always be just a land. Ral Storm Conduit is an incredible rare. And since I'm already splashing blue and red, it is something to consider whether to just splash double for this Ral. The problem with splashing a double is that I need even more fixing, whereas before I only need one piece of fixing to splash my Jaya or my Kasmina. Here I would need two pieces of fixing in play. Other options include a splashed Prison Realm, a Vivian's Grizzly, a Pollen Bright Druid. Nothing really on the power level of Ral. So I think I'm going to take the Ral here and then hope my fixing gets there. And the downside is like not taking like a Prison Realm that I could splash or a Pollen Bright Druid that I could play. So hopefully we can get enough fixing. Wow, Store of Devkarin Lich. This is a very good card. It's in my 2 main colors. It can get back creatures. It's a 4-mana 5/4 trample. It can get back like recur Planeswalkers, which is really good. So definitely taking the Devkarin. I'm just remembering that my first pack had a black-green removal spell that like got me a land, and I still think even though it would have ended up excellent in this deck, I still don't think that's the correct pick. Just kind of worked out that it would have been a fine card to take. I do want to end up with some Gateway Plazas here, I think, in this deck now that I am splashing more aggressively. But we're definitely taking a Devgarin. Okay, so we now have, this is our creature curve. Our creature curve is decent. I'm not a huge fan of Crunch Wrangler. It works really well with the Bloom Hulk, but other than that, it's not a great card. This is a fine sideboard card. Price of Betrayal tends to do good work out of the sideboard. Jiang Yangu is actually really nice if you have a creature-heavy deck, and it can help me splash, so I think Jiang Yangu is going to be the pick here, over a Bond of Flourishing, too. It does help you find, like, your cards. I have a lot of permanents in this deck too, but I think Jiang Yangu, because it helps me splash, and I already have a decent number of creatures, and Bleeding Edge is kind of a creature. This is kind of like a 3-drop in a way that you want to cast on curve, but I'll put it in the removal pile still. But Jiang Yangu I think is definitely the pick here. And now Bloom Hulk. I really do like Bloom Hulk a lot. It's in my main colors. It works well if I can wheel that Crunch Wrangler. Saheeli Silverwing has also been a solid card, just as an evasive threat, but Bloom Hulk is really nice, and it works really well with all of the Planeswalkers I have, with a couple of with the Amass card that I have. Lazarus Reaver also has Amass. With the Jiang Yangu, it works really well. So Bloom Hulk is definitely the pick here for me. Unlikely 8 is a solid combat trick, but I'm definitely on Bloom Hulk. And then I'd probably take the Tibalt just for more splash targets. I do need to pick up more fixing, though. Well, Command the Dreadhorde is a very solid wear. The cards just tend to trade off a lot, and this card can just win you the game. So I'm pretty happy to get that here. I have a little bit of ways to gain life. Centaur Nurturer gains me life. A Vampire Opportunist can gain me some life. Not really a ton of other things, but 2 ways is fine. So Command the Dreadhorde is definitely going to be my pick here. Maybe I can wheel an Arlen's Wolf or a Crawl Stinger, or maybe even a Shriek Diver. So yeah, definitely just taking this bomb top end. And another Centaur Nurturer. Pretty much any fixing is going to be my pick here, and Centaur Nurturer is really good. It also gains me life to work with the Command the Dreadhorde. It's another good blocker creature. I would love a Paradise Druid in this deck, but we're definitely just going to keep taking the Centaur Nurturers while we're seeing them, and then hopefully a Crowl Stinger or a Vivian's Grizzly will come back. I wouldn't mind playing some Crawl Stingers in this deck. Interplanar Beacon. So it's a colorless land, which does kind of hurt me, especially when I have a card like Storerev, but a bunch of my cards that are multicolored are Planeswalkers, and it single-handedly can help me cast Ral. That being said, there's also a Bloom Hulk in the pack, so it's tricky. I already have a bunch of 4-drops. I already have 4 4-drops. I'm probably going to see more 4-drops even. I have Casamina, which is also 4-drop. This is a 4-drop. I'm just going to take the Interplanar Beacon. I think it's going to be a little bit more solid than the Bloom Hulk here, just because I have so many 4-drops already. You can run out of space for 4-drops. One of the big benefits of taking the Bloom Hulk there is that it makes Crawl Wranglers, no, not Crawl Wranglers, whatever they're called, Crunch Wranglers, a lot better because they work so well with Bloom Hulks. But this deck isn't really a dedicated aggro deck where Crunch Wrangler is going to thrive anyway. Here, I think we're just going to take the Return to Nature for the sideboard over the Tidebreaker Giant. We already have a decent amount of top end. And Vivian's Grizzly came back. That's perfect. I wouldn't mind having a card like Law Rune Enforcer, but it isn't my main color. I'm already splashing red and blue, so I don't think I'm going to want to be having any like white cards. And Vivian's Grizzly is a 3-drop. I need more 3-drops here on the lower end of the curve. And Unlikely Aid could make the cut. Probably not, but you never know. Another sideboard card. Charmed Stray, you mock me. Okay, another Unlikely Aid. Not super likely to make the cut. Unlikely to make the cut, some might say. Sorry, I apologize for such a bad pun. But I think this Interplanar Beacon's actually going to be pretty good. Like, it's in the deck, for sure. Whoa! Hello! This card is great. But I don't think I can take it here. It's double blue, and there's a Death Sprout in this pack, which is just perfect for the deck. Death Sprout, oh man, this is tricky. Very tricky. This card is really good, but double blue is so hard to get, and I haven't seen any of the enchantment things that make double colored. And if I can't cast it, it's not of no use to me. I'm just going to take Death Sprout here. As I said, one of the reasons I passed up on Bloom Hulk is because there's a lot of 4-drops that I want, and Death Sprout is one of the premium ones. There is a Crawl Stinger, which could wheel. Prismite I would probably play. Probably wouldn't play Storm the Citadel, but Death Sprout is just excellent for this deck. Enter the God Eternals is good, but, you know, you can't always play all of your cards. Double-colored splashes are much harder. Like, it's harder to splash a double-colored card. It's just like splashing a Ral, kind of. But I'm already planning on splashing one of each of those colors. It's probably easier to have those in play, or an Interplanar Beacon. But I was just going to take the Death Sprout here. It really helps with my splashes. And, of course, I see a New Horizon immediately. I'm still taking the New Horizon, I think. Actually, Widespread Brutality. This is another double-colored card to splash. This card is incredible, though. But again, it's just so hard to cast. I think I'm just going to take the New Horizon. New Horizon is just really good. It works decently with the Bloom Hulk, with the Evolution Sage. I have a couple 2-drops. I don't need all that many more. I'd probably want one more good 2-drop, and these 2 2-drops are pretty fine. Dang, double red is so hard to get. The sacrifices I make for good mana fixing. Definitely taking this, though. I can't afford to take a double color card, just like I couldn't take the Enter the Godfather. The thing was, if I had, instead of 2 Centaur Nurturers, if I had 2 New Horizons, then I could afford to take cards like this. But since I don't have any New Horizons, it means I just have to have so much happen to be able to cast those cards. Even if the game goes super late, it, like, just too risky, essentially. So we're just going to take the New Horizons. And now, Mana Geode is nice. Another little bit of fixing. Bond of Flourishing is fine, but not really where I want to be. I'd rather just get more fixing and take the Mana Geode here. There's a Gateway Plaza, but at this point we have a decent number of fixings. We have New Horizons, 2 Centaur Nurturers, a Death Sprout, and Mana Geode will pretty much just lock it up. Interplanar Beacon is going to be fine as well. And yeah, there's nothing else in this pack other than Bond, which can find some of our good cards, but also it can just kind of whiff, so. Huatley's Raptor, not really a card you splash. Centaur Nurturer number 3. Probably just going to be the pick here. We have a decent number of 3-drops now, and Centaur Nurturer is just a fine card. Helps me with my mana. Aid the Fallen, eh? Or another New Horizons. Aid the Fallen. I have a bunch of creatures, a bunch of planeswalkers, but I think I'm just going to take the New Horizons. Keep taking that mana fixing. Mana fixing is just so good. And, yeah, it's just really always key to have mana fixing. Because now I might even be able to get away with playing like 0 copies of other colors, which would be really good because then I can consistently cast my Store Rev and my Death Sprouts and my other powerful cards. I already have enough power. I have all these splash cards already. I just need to be able to consistently cast them. Herald of the Dreadhorde is not really what I'm looking for. I don't want a 4-drop. I think I might just take this Kiora's Dambreaker just to have a big creature to ramp into. I don't really want Storm the Citadel either. Just having a big creature sounds nice. Arlen's Wolf, that's a fine one. It wears the counters from New Horizons pretty well. Iron Bully's a decent one, but I think I'd rather just take the Arlen's Wolf. It's a better blocker than the Iron Bully is, and I already have infinite Return to Natures. Yeah, let's just get that Wolf in there. Yes! Oh my gosh, this is the perfect card for this deck. Leyland Prowler's excellent. It wears counters from New Horizons really well. And is overall a card I'm very happy to see here. I can pretty much take any cards of any color now, but it's a little bit late to see any good ones. Callous Dismissal would be a fine pickup, but unfortunately can't really get that. Thunderdrake would have been fine as well, but definitely just slamming this one. And now Prismite is an option, so is Crawl Stinger. I think I just want another 2-drop. Prismite will make the cut probably. I don't think I want to be splashing these type of cards. But Prismite's nice. Having a third 2-drop is nice to have. And Tamiya's Epiphany. This is the exact card I wanted. When you have so many mana sources, it's really important to have card draw. And Tamiya's Epiphany is perfect for this type of deck. Yeah, overall very excited to see that. I also have I already have one Vivian's Grizzly, which is another good mana sink for this type of deck. But definitely happy to see a Tamiya's Epiphany. And a Bond of Flourishing. That's a fine card to cast on turn 2. Not really looking to play Banehound. Not really looking to play Neoform either, though. Aid the Fallen came back. That's surprising. But I'll take it. I like it. Bulwark Giant could be a card that I side in if I need anti-aggro tools. But this deck came together. I really got all the fixing I needed in that pack. If I'd known I was going to get 2 New Horizons, I would have taken that Enter the God Pharaoh. Okay, let's group creatures separately. So we have 15 creatures. We have a bunch of powerful ones. We have 3 2-drops. So what do we need to cut? We have 30 cards. One of them's a land. I think we are running 17 lands in this deck. So let's just start cutting our bad cards. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? Bond of Flourishing is pretty mediocre. We're going to cut that to start with. Aid the Fallen is kind of like Tammy's Epiphany in that we kind of want to have ways to use our mana in the late game, and this gives us decent recovery options. Prismite's kind of necessary, it's just to have another 2-drop. I guess the Wolf is kind of mediocre. 3 mana, 3/2. We'll cut that one. We could just cut a Bloom Hulk. We're going to cut Lazotep Behemoth. Bloom Hulk is, we don't really, I mean, I guess we have New Horizons to put counters. And Jiang Yangu. Yeah, cutting Bloom Hulk is insane. Wow, we can probably cut some of our fixing. This deck is crazy. How much fixing do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dang. We have a ton of fixing. We got a bunch of that fixing in the last pack, though. Okay. Is Beacon worth playing? Initially, it was worth playing. Like, I took it because it can cast Ral all by itself. But at this point, I don't think it's worth playing. You're right. Because it doesn't cast my, like, bleeding edges and stuff. But at the time I took it, it was one of my ways to cast Ral, and Ral was gonna be kind of tricky to play. But yeah, at this point, Beacon's probably not worth playing. Okay, we can probably cut some of this fixing though. Let's cut a. Let's just look at our curve here. We are 3-drop and 4-drop tribal. We kind of already have this guy for recursion. I think we're going to make 3 more cuts here. We could cut the Dam Breaker. We can cut 1 copy of Centaur Nurturer, maybe. We'll cut 1 New Horizons and 1 Centaur Nurturer. No, we'll cut the Mana Geoda instead of the New Horizons. And then our deck looks like this. How do we win the game? I think we would just outvalue people eventually. Maybe I do want a card like Lazotep Behemoth in here. Dam Breaker, just so I have a way to win. Though, I'm not overly concerned with finding a way to win. I think I'll just win naturally. Okay, this is the deck. I think it's going to perform well. The most likely cards that I would add is the Centaur Nurturer, the kind of the Mana Geode, this guy, the Dam Breaker, just some big guys. But I think the deck's pretty solid and should do well. Let's combine groups. Let's see what our colors should look like. Sort by color. We already did that. So we're gonna want. I don't think we need to run any copies of mountains or islands. I think we can just run all swamps and forests. So let's just go more blacks than greens, just because we have 2 double black cards. No, we have 3 double black cards, but we do have 2 New Horizons, which are a key part of our fixing. Let's just run 1 extra swamp, because we want to have double. We don't need any of these. Actually, we do want to have maybe 1 copy of them, so we can use our Death Sprout with it. Death Sprout isn't really fixing for us, it's just kind of ramp. 9, 8. Actually, let's just run one island. 8, 8, 1. That seems good. That way we do have one thing to get with Death Sprout to help us fix. And this is the deck. I think it'll perform well. We have a lot of good sideboard options as well to make our deck better against aggro or better against control. We can just side in pretty much any of our cards. We can side in Bulwark Giant, Kior's Dambreaker, Lazotep Behemoth, Centaur Nurturer number 3 feels weird not to play, but I think we just need... I think Bloom Hulk is going to do a little bit better. Won the die roll. I will play first. Mulligan. Keep this hand. This is a great hand. Put that on the bottom. We don't really want to Aid the Fallen here. It's okay, Julio Martini. It's going to be going up on YouTube tomorrow probably, so you'll get to catch it there. Suffice to say, our deck has a lot of mana fixing. Grateful Apparition. Hopefully we can draw a swamp so we can start beating down with the Leyline Prowler. And hopefully our opponent doesn't put a counter on this somehow. That's always a nightmare. If we could draw Bleeding Edge, that'd be so good. Okay, the wolf. Oh, yes. Bleeding Edge, we're going to use either... I think we're going to use it on the... What do we even use it on? I think this card's scarier. I'm more afraid of that, so we're just going to kill this right now. We don't need to use Storev yet. Oh, man, that was good. But yeah, we don't want to play like a Planeswalker or something to put counters onto the wolf or something. I have been scarred by that card. He has tainted my soul. Okay. I can't block because it can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. Opponent also is splashing potentially. Swamp, that's perfect. We now have Storev. Ah, the Interplanar Beacon. Want to proliferate onto my zombie army? That'd be nice of you. I would appreciate it. Perfect. Oh, I knew this island would come in handy. Scry away. Ooh, we'll keep that on top. It's a solid draw. Definitely one of our better draws here. It would be Catastrophe to scry that to the bottom and then draw a land or something. We get to make this into a 3/3. We get so that it can team for double blocks and stuff. I think we'll just let Ral take a hit for 4 probably. Because we want this Leyline Prowler to just be a good trading guy. Nice. Do we want to trade Storev for him? I think that's fairly fine. The higher this guy gets on loyalty, the harder he is to kill, as after all. Arlen. That's not good. No bueno. Yikes. Definitely don't want that land. I'm just one real good draw step away from this being a good spot. Like, I just need to draw a really good, like, removal spell or something, and then I'm in really good shape. I think I am in good shape either way. But this Arlen is a bit of a problem. Oh, no. Oh, now we are in trouble. Oh, dear. This is not good. He's just gonna keep making wolves. I want to draw Obnixlus's Cruelty. Or Tammy's Epiphany. I'm gonna not block. Big draw. Yes! Boom, get sniped. That's actually really good for us. Oh, yes, Death Sprout, my hero. Bottom. 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 Top. That's actually fine, because now we can proliferate. Oh my gosh, and we get to draw even more cards. Prismite's definitely going to the bottom. I don't think we want really any of these cards. I think we'll draw one Centaur. No, we don't want any of these. Perfect. And then we will kill the Evolution Sage and put this down to 1 so it can't do anything. And Lazotep Reaver can chump block or something. My 4/4 can do some blocking work. I mean my 5/5. And I'm going to be able to copy Death Sprout next turn. That was a good turn. Sure, Teos Light Shield. We'll just chump it. We don't want to take too much damage. Wait, it's attacking Ral. It's a 5/5. Sure. Let's kill the 5/5 and the 4/4. Okay, so we ping his face. Hello, Zach. Get a swamp. Proliferate. This is sick value. I forgot about the proliferate. Whew, sorry if that took a little bit to resolve. And then I play land for turn. Proliferate. And then we'll hit them for a casual 8. Because we do want to finish this game. Oh, that was a good draw. Let's just scry 1. Don't want the Prismite. We can actually like activate that immediately, so that's pretty nice. This is why this is a good 2-drop, because it's actually useful in the late game. Boom! And we got the win. So let's just double check the cards he had. He had some decent proliferate synergies. So we'll want to make sure we break those up early on if we can. He didn't really have any artifacts or enchantments. What seems worse in this matchup? That was disgusting to see and awesome. Yeah, Ral Zarek is really good in limited, turns out. So I don't think Prismite's as needed in this matchup. I think we can afford to play something a little bit bigger like an Arlen's Wolf. Though having something to do on turn 2 is really nice. Oh, man. I don't know if we'll have time to play. I think we get to the point where Aid the Fallen is good. We're favored. We're not going to be able to protect Jiang Yangu. Let's just get some nice extra life link in there. Life gain, I mean. Well, this hand is great. This hand is excellent. Definitely a keeper. I'm glad we have that Prismite. It's just important to have 2-drops, because casting a 2-drop on turn 2 is just so nice. It also helps fix our mana a little bit. Bond of Flourishing. Bloom Hulk. Sure. I can actually cast Jaya's Greeting on turn 3, which is cool. I'm not sure if I just want to run out the Evolution Sage. Okay, so yeah. We're definitely just killing that next turn. It's going very well right now. Casting our removal spell. Off the splash with the Prismite. Always a fine play. Yeah, we'll take that next turn. That's a fine draw. Really gets our mana going. And it can threaten a double block with this Prismite. I don't think it's correct to double block here if he does attack, because he could just blow us out. And we have Obnix's Cruelty up for the future where we can just kill this. So we're just going to get our Evolution Sage out. And then we can either play Vivian's Grizzly or just hold up Obnix's Cruelty. I like holding up the Cruelty just because he's probably going to attack again because the board hasn't changed all that much. And then I can trade off my Centaur Nurturer for his Bloom Hulk. Or use the Cruelty to blow him out. And if he plays Arlen Cord, Kron Strangler, sure. Like, this is just a fine trade for me. Yep, this is exactly what we wanted to have happen. That's why attacking into open mana is so risky. Actually, we don't need to use the Prismite to cast our Kasmina. Thank you so much, Poany, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Proliferate! Having mana sinks when you have a ton of mana in your deck is really important. I'm fine trading off here. The only card I can't cast if I draw it is Ral. If I trade the Prismite, and I'm in pretty good shape regardless. And him blocking is good for me because then he has no pressure on my Kasmina, which is just going to keep churning out these wizards. And the opponent concedes. We win the match. Let's see. Do we want to make any changes to the deck? No, I think it performed admirably. MTG Online is just so chill. It's just like nice, refreshing MTGO flavor. This deck is indeed sick, SST Bones. MTGO, the resizing of the windows is honestly just hateful. We're going to keep this. This hand is not insane, but it has lands. It's got a 3-drop that can pressure planeswalkers. And I'm feeling good. Oh, that was a good draw. This hand is just solid. I mean, our deck can use its mana pretty effectively. Guild Globe, that would have been kind of a nice one to have, but again, not super necessary. Drawing 2 spells there was definitely better than drawing 2 lands would have been, I must say. Playing against red-green, we should have a very good matchup here. And now we're 2 pieces of fixing away from this Ral. There's 1 piece. However, we are going to cast the Shriek Diver first, because we want to put the counter on our flyer. Just better that way. Get in there, Reaver. Wow, we drew 3 spells off the top. That was excellent. That hand could have totally backfired. Okay, Chandra's Triumph. Yikes. Yeah, we are going to have to kill that one. Turns out developing the New Horizons would have worked out better last turn. As is, we're going to have to kind of take a turn off, I think. Unless we draw another 3-drop, which we have a ton of 3-drops in this deck, so okay, that's fine. He only has 1 card in hand. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Now we're going to get a real good amount of value out of this Bloom Hulk. We'll just take a hit for 4. No big deal. When you're at 20 life, you can afford to use your life total as a resource. That's one of the cliche things people always say in the content making industry, but it's always true. If you're at a high, use your life total as a resource. We don't really need to worry about taking a hit for 4 here. If he plays a Tameo, it's a little bit annoying. Aw, man, Tameo, you monster. What did he name? He named Jaya's Greeting. Sure. He milled Crunch Wrangler, Relentless Advance, Spellgorger Weird, okay. Kind of just want to get the Leyline Prowler in so I can attack that. And cast Ral. I can only cast 1 spell this turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So if I'm only casting 1 spell this turn, I think it's best to cast one that makes this thing want to attack. So I think we're going to cast Kasmina here. And then also the Bloom Hulk gets better the more Planeswalkers we have in play. Bleeding Edge. I think we get rid of the Bleeding Edge. There's some argument to getting rid of Ral, but Ral is so strong that I don't think it's really worth getting rid of that ever. We just want to put enough pressure on him that he has to attack our Planeswalkers, and then we can kill his Tameo. Tameo's going to get back something like Chandra's Triumph here. Opponent has a decent amount of decisions to make. Okay, they're returning Chandra's Triumph as expected. They're going to kill the Kasmina. Sure. And then we'll just play our Bloom Hulk, finish off his Tameo. Okay, that's even better. Get our island. I think we're just going to attack everything at Tameo. We don't want to risk him having a Jaya's thing. And 2 damage to the face isn't going to make a difference this game. Whereas him having another Tameo activation really could. Boom. Good decisions rewarded. But yeah, now we're in great shape. And having that island is actually really a big deal for our Death Sprout. If we draw a land, we can go Ral into Bloom Hulk. Whew. Gotcha, buddy. Let's just attack with both. If he trades, this is like okay, because he has no cards in hand, and just once again keeping him off of doing anything super powerful. Like if he drew his own Bloom Hulk and made it into a 4/3. Yeah, we're in very good shape this game. Okay, always a good idea on MTGO when your opponent concedes the game, just double check what's in their deck. They have a Tamiyo, Chandler's Pyre Helix, Chandler's Triumph. They named Jaya's Triumph or whatever it's called with their Tamiyo, so they probably have a couple of those. They have a Relentless Advance. Okay, let's look at it. So they are playing blue cards, and they're splashing for Relentless Advance. They don't really seem like super aggressive. So Jiang Yangu could be okay, but once again, he's kind of worse on the draw. I don't have all that many 2-drops. So I think I'm going to cut Jiang Yangu for another Centaur Nurturer. Ugh. Thank you for resizing the window again, Magic Online. I appreciate it. This is a great hand. We're going to keep it. All 4-drops all the time. And this also doesn't die to his Jaya's thing, which is semi-relevant. We'll probably just play our Vampire Opportunist to have it die. Though, now that he's not able to hold up mana, that's nicer for us. Our draws have really come together. You got to remember that whenever things are going your way, like, there are going to be times where things don't go your way, so got to appreciate it when your draws kind of line up pretty well. We'll hit him for 3. If he trades, we're fine with that. But yeah, I didn't expect him to trade because Spellgorger Weird can get very big, but it's still nice to make the offer. Pyre Helix, sure. We might get relatively greedy this game, but my opponent looks like they're mana screwed, so maybe not a good reason to. 1, 2, 3. We want to get this Ral into play and then copy the Tamiyo's Epiphany. That's like our dream here. We can also turn this into a 3/5 as an attacker. Okay, Vivian's good. We're going to be able to kill the Vivian, though. If he minuses, which he probably will. No, he doesn't. Interesting. Okay, we'll take that. So we play land. New Horizons onto this land. Yes. Black, black. Green, green. Kill that. Island me up. Now Vivian's in bad shape. And we have enough mana to go Ral plus Tamiyo's maybe? Yeah. Exactly enough mana. So we're going to be refilling our hand. This game's over, I think. Unless he plays a discard spell, which blue, green, and red don't have access to. Like, even if he draws a land and plays Tamiyo, I think he's still dead this game. Things are just working out for us. Okay, he's activating it. That is fine. You can only cast it if it's a creature. Okay, that card's good. Okay, we don't want Swamp. Don't want Prismite. Don't really want Loudstep Reaper, but we'll take the Grizzly as a mana sink. Be very aggressive with your Scries when you have two of them coming. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to keep Bleeding Edge to kill the Shaman. I mean, the Sage. Oh, yeah. We're going to save this land if we haven't already... Yeah, we haven't played land this turn, but we're going to save it to work with the Evolution Sage. Because next turn we can go Sage, Bleeding Edge, land, Grizzly. So no Jayas. Oh, he can't kill this anyway with the Jayas. Okay, this is just GG. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're going to actually minus this Ral again, but we're going to have to proliferate first. So land. So we don't get the extra Bleeding Edge guy, but we get to cast Bleeding Edge twice, which is way better. Always copy instants and sorceries when you can. This is just not even close to fair. Oh, of course. Why does it stack hide like that? Yeah, that was a fair turn. Yep. Oh, man. So we didn't get to proliferate onto our army, but we got to use it twice. Oh, man. Our opponent, look at that. They're up to 11 cards in hand. They're getting mad because they didn't draw lands. Yeah, this deck is great. This is why you don't have to really care about win conditions as much. What's the change we've been making every round? We've been cutting Jiang Yangu for Centaur Nurturer. Let's just try that in the main deck. I know some people are like, oh, don't make changes, you won the first 2 rounds, but it seems like Centaur Nurturer has been working out better. Jiang Yangu is just not as great of a fit in this deck. Because we can't protect him as well. If we're playing a slower matchup, we'll bring him in, though, for sure, because he works really well. Of course, we face another worthy foe. On the draw, easy keep here. You can't just ship 2 land hands because they're 2 land hands. We also have a 2-drop. We do want to draw lands, though. Okay, Visionary kind of owns Prismite. It's okay, I sense lands in my future. My immediate future, as in next turn future. No block. You madman opponent. Ironically, Jiang Yangu would be great in this hand. Never mind, he would not be great in this hand. Oh yes, we knew this would work. We'll definitely trade off the Prismite here. It's not getting any better for young Prismite. We just want to preserve our life total because we never know how much how long we're gonna have to wait to draw our next land. If we draw a swamp, it's gonna work out nicely because we can kill this 4-drop he's gonna play. Oh yes. We do have 6 points of life gain here. He only has 5 power in play. Storev's eventually going to do work. And we can kill this Elite Skyguard and then bring it back with our command, the Dreadhorde. So here we're going to go to 11, but then we're going to kill the Elite Skyguard. Then we're going to go to 8. Then we're going to play the Centaur Nurturer. Go back to 11. Go down to 9. Oh man. These Aven Eternals. Gonna be problems. Oh, come on. This guy's just beating me down with his jank here. Swamp is good. I wish I'd had that last turn. One, two, three, four. I think I need... Oh no, I'm just dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can't come back from this. Rats. So we did stumble a little bit on our lands there. He's got a ton of flyers, but we don't have any ways to kill flyers. Bulwark Giant could be nice for some life gain. Shriek Diver can block his flyers, which is also nice. Let's cut Prismite because it's completely useless against all of his cards. Legitimately every single one of them. Like Vampire Opportunist is just better for us here because we can like actually gain life with it later on potentially. We would like to play first. Yikes, this hand. It really needs a forest. If it hits a forest, it's alright, but we can't rely on hitting a forest. We'll keep this one, though. Like, on the play, with only, like, 2 draws to hit a forest, and we only have 8 forests, and all of our fixing relies on having a forest, we can't keep that hand. Let's put that on top. Probably slightly better than our average draw, and we don't really want to draw another land. Too many lands at least. We're still going to cast New Horizons on turn 3 with no targets. Definitely not targeting his creature. Does that change anything? Kind of does. No, it doesn't. It does not. We don't have any. We're only going to be casting one spell every turn, so we're going to go Centaur Nurture into Epiphany or Bloom Hulk. Pegasus, of course. The beatdowns commence. Let the beatdowns commence. Bleeding Edge. Let's just cast the Tammy's Epiphany now. Bottom that. Stow Rev is good. Leyline Prowler is good. I actually like all of these. So next turn we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So we're going to be able to cast 2 spells. So we can cast, yeah, we'll just put all these on top. So we can cast Leyline Prowler and Obnixlus's Cruelty, his Trusted Pegasus. He knows that we have Store Rev coming. I'm not 100% sure how, if we kill the Pegasus, how that will work. We're definitely using this as an attacker to gain us life. Got him. This guy's going to be very potent in this matchup. Sure. Play Store Rev. Kill that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we don't want both. We don't want more land. Whew, I think we're stabilized. At least relatively. This guy's going to be a very good attacker. Store will probably trade with his Enforcer Griffin. Okay, Dovin, that's kind of annoying. Okay, he stops the Store Rev. That's interesting. We're just going to protect against Gideon's Triumph. Thank you so much, RipLipBJ, for the follow. I appreciate it. Having another good attacker here. It's pretty nice. We're still gaining a decent amount of life as well. Wow, this guy's been an MVP. We're gonna gain 3 more life. And now we don't have to attack with Storev like that, because we can just sacrifice the Bloom Hulk. Opponent is going deep in the tank. That's a good one. I think we'll send Bloom Hulk at face and this thing at Dovin. This thing is just so hard to block. Like, he can trade with the Enforcer Griffin, but then I'm just getting it back with Storev. He does have a very good blue-white Flyers deck. Do I even want to attack with Storev? Probably not. Let's just attack Storev with the Dovin here, and then play both of our other creatures. Gain some life. This is gonna go great. Adios, SST Bones. You can catch the rest of it on YouTube later on. I'm glad you tuned in. Thanks for the support. Okay, Tammy's Epiphany, sure. And now we'll just start attacking with Bloom Hulk and Leyline Prowler and the activating Vampire Opportunist. That's a lot of damage per turn, and a decent amount of life gain too. I do think my opponent has... why does it still resize if I have the game log in the middle of the screen? I think... just want to see what he's getting. Looks like a tough decision. We can assume that he's going to have at least 2 spells in his hand after this. So we're going to... he probably has 2 spells already. So he's going to have 4 spells. But we have a better board state by a decent amount. Okay, let's see what he did with them. He put 2 cards on the bottom and 2 on the top. Okay. Even a turn, well, sure. So if we attack like this, we trade our Storev for his Enforcer Griffin. If we attacked with the Bloom Hulk, he would just double block with these 2, which is just good for him. So I think trading Storev for Enforcer Griffin is fine. We do want to attack a little bit. Because if we don't attack, then we're just losing to him just looting away all of his lands. Land was not a great draw there. I just need to add to the board. You know what would be good to draw is the Liliana card. Liliana's Command the Dread Horde. Because then I could just start attacking very recklessly and then buy back all of the guys that died in the trades. Because they have such a high life total. Yep, that's about what I expected. Definitely going to... Well... I get a little bit more value than I thought. I get to kill the army token as well. That's definitely a nice touch. That makes my attacks actually significantly... Not significantly better. A decent amount better. Atomic. Okay. So I can't cast my next New Horizons. Let's go, Opportunist. If I trade this guy for 2 of his guys, it's still a good deal for me. And killing his looter is really good for me. He didn't even loot before. That's good. That's real good. I'm in good shape this game. It could go downhill if he has like a really good planeswalker or something. That's not actually going to do it for him, because I actually have a decent block onto it. Okay. Whew. The fact that we're working up towards double activation is kind of bad. We are drawing a lot of lands here. And our opponent is... We're assuming he's got all spells, probably. Not good. That being said, we're taking 2 a turn and my opponent's taking 2 a turn. This is a 4-point life swing on its own. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. What? Oh, that's a relief. At least I drew my Lazotep Reaver. Come on, man. We drew 4 lands in a row, I think. Oh my god. Will we lose? Wow. Jesus. Well, you can't win them all. As I was saying earlier in the video, luck does play a factor, and I just, yeah. My opponent has a lot of lands, but they got to have a lot of control over whether they drew lands, and they clearly wanted lands because they have a Parhelion 2 in their deck. Jeez. And I thought I was winning because I had a vampire. Oh my gosh. Is this enough? It could be a turn late. Choose any number of... gosh. So let's get back. Enforcer Griffin. Sideboarding, that's 5, 9. 12. I can't get back everything. I can't get back the Enforced Griffin. Kind of taking 8 next turn. So if I take 9, if I take 7, no, I would just take this guy. So this is 5, 8. I go to 7. I make it so this can't deal damage. He attacks. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 1 mana short. If I'd drawn this last turn, I might have had a chance, because I could have got back Dovin and stopped Parhelion. Yeah, we lose this game. Let's just concede. Oh, man. That was brutal. Sometimes you just draw 4 lands before you draw your game-winning bomb the turn after your opponent Parhelions you. But anyway, the deck was very good. We really showed off how powerful it can be to have a lot of mana fixing. We had a bunch of powerful splash cards. The Growl, Tammy's Epiphany, Kasmina, and Jaya's Greeting were all excellent. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, say hashtag mana fixing in the comment section down below to let me know you made it all the way to the end. That is going to do it. Remember to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, comment, and all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you in my next video.